Yes, welcome back to the No State Project, the only show on the air dedicated to bringing about a voluntary society where we're sticking to the man one show at a time. Glad to be here in the fortified compound in Phoenix, Arizona. And I want to remind you of a new sponsor, Evolve Cigs, evolvecigs.com. Evolve Cigs is an electronic cigarette that gives you true freedom to enjoy smoking anywhere. Airports, restaurants, movies, theaters, sporting events, and even in courtrooms. Just make sure you take your hat off. The company owner has even personally used his in his local public health department. Each Evolve starter kit comes with 2 batteries, 2 atomizers, 5 flavor tips of your choice, and a personal charging case that charges your batteries on the go and stores 5 flavor tips. So join the revolution and the evolution of smoking today with Evolve Cigs, evolvecigs.com. You can also, there's a link on my website, markstevens.com, that'll bring you right to evolvecigs.com. I want to welcome back JT, of course, and joining us today is Pete with Liberty on Tour. Welcome back, Pete.
Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, so Ademo got arrested. Now, there's also video of that on freaking.com. He went to your arraignment, which they didn't even bring you out. Right. They kept you in some kind of holding cell, and you were on video.
Right, I was in booking for 24 hours because I refused to identify, and they told me all sorts of lies when I was in there. And then at one point they said, "Hey, would you like to talk to the judge?" And I said, "Well, I'm not going to tell him anything different than I've told you guys, but sure, why not?" So they brought me down to another room, video conference me in, and I didn't know. I just thought I'd be talking to the judge and his lackeys, but a lot of supporters were out in the audience, including the Ademo, and Michelle Seven was filming, and they had been waiting there. Some of them gotten up at 5 or 6, and they gotten there at 8, and they had been there all day. So they were hungry and agitated, and they weren't getting any information. So they had the video monitor to the judge's side, so I wasn't able to see them and know that they were even in the courtroom. And then so the judge was asking me how I wanted to plead, and I said, "Well, I'd like to ask a couple questions." And he was really curt and short with me, and that's when Ademo got up and made his statement, and then the judge just said, "That's it, he's out, like, get him, he's out of here," whatever. And so they took him, and soon after, Burke said he has 60 days. He essentially said that Ademo offended the court. And so I don't know if a chair or this legal fiction or whatever, I don't know how it got offended, but so Ademo is currently in the Cheshire County Jail, and if people want to send him mail, I know he'd love to hear from you. He was moved yesterday from segregation to General Pop, so myself and Michelle Seven and Heike Corser were able to visit him yesterday for an hour and a half, and in about 2 hours we're going to be back up there again. I'm going to visit him, but if you're not in the area and you want to send him a letter, the address there is you can go to freekeen.com to find it. You can go to mail-to-jail.com to find it, and all the videos are on those are on Freekeen or libertyontour.com or copblock.org has done good coverage as well. So we're just trying to move forward and support the Ademo as best we can, get them out of there, and then hold these guys accountable.
Yeah, I would just make a suggestion to everybody. If you're going to go into the courts, don't necessarily give them a reason, and start swearing. I understand that they were upset, but, man, right. 60 days in jail for that. We know what these people are like. Right. This Judge Burke, I mean, he's kind of making a name for himself for being a jerk.
Yeah, that's. I think that's a fair assessment, and he definitely has not been the friendliest or most courteous or the farthest thing, I guess you could say, from a public servant to those of us who enter the courtroom with any affinity for liberty or the ideas of liberty. He's very short, and but there's some folks, like I said, pursuing all these angles, and people have been brainstorming, and it's very decentralized, and some folks are looking into maybe having some, essentially try to hold these guys accountable through whatever mechanisms possible. So we're doing what we can, and more, information comes out every day about what's been happening, what's been going on. So I'm pretty optimistic. I think, the community is just amazing, and I think, this is going to be a case to rally around and get these guys to prove just how arbitrary, they have one set of rules and we have another, apparently. So. Well,
yeah, absolutely. And before I let we run out of time for the segment, Alex Knight III, who's a regular guest on the show and contributed to Strike the Root, he's got a question. He emailed me.
Sure.
He's wanting to know if there's any information going any new information about the ridiculous charges you and Ademo have in Greenfield, in Massachusetts, where you were accused of it was a felony charge, I believe, wasn't it, for wiretapping?
Yeah. We actually, in total, we both have 2 misdemeanor charges. I think, trespassing or resisting and disorderly, and then we both have felony wiretapping, and then I also have a VIN manipulation misdemeanor, which is total bunk, and then from that they said I have a felony firearms charge because they went into my RV, my vehicle, and said they found some ammo, and this was in Massachusetts. So all the information, if people want to read about this, go to copblock.org/Greenfield Justice, and there's a video of our latest iteration down there. Essentially, this happened last July, and we've been jumping through hoops. I've told them, I don't want to sign their paper to get a lawyer, or just say I don't need a lawyer, and I'm going to represent myself. So they're, it seems like in a holding pattern, unable to figure out how to proceed. Ademo, likewise, is presenting himself pro se, and we were back there January 10th, and they essentially just didn't answer any of our questions. They just told us to come back February 18th, and it was, between myself and Ademo, we've called the DA, the court, everybody involved over 100 times for sure, left countless messages, and it's been completely unaccountable. No one's even shared with us, the objective, how this process works, let alone any specifics about our case. So these guys were just, it was ridiculous. Again, and that whole incident stemmed from us going down there to bail a friend out of jail. So it's similar to this latest incident here in Keene. We just were there to support somebody else, help somebody else out. And if anything, it just shows why we're out there and why you guys are, and a lot of your listeners are out there doing what they're doing, because, this level of rights victimization, to people without badges is out of hand.
Yeah, it is. And what I would suggest that if you can contact me off air, I have a motion to dismiss that's written for Massachusetts. So I'd be happy to send it to you with instructions on how to get that filed.
Will do. Definitely. Thank you.
Yeah, I think this is ridiculous. What I've tried as far as what's going on in Keene, I have made many phone calls to officials in Keene to get some, to have them on the show or do an interview, a short interview off air that we could air for the show, and none of them. And one of the names that I remember, because John McClain, isn't he the city manager?
Oh, I don't even know. Ian would know that. Ian Freeman from Black Live would know that.
I think it is John McClain, because who would forget a name like that, right, JT? I
know, right?
So none of them.
Yeah, it's got a Hollywood ring to it, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Die Hard, isn't that Die Hard? Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
that's
Die
why.
Hard, that flick, propaganda flick. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why I didn't forget the name. So I've reached out and and I've contacted them, and nobody wants to get back with me. Anyway, Pete, I appreciate you coming on the show, and hopefully we'll have you back on real soon with some good news. My name is Mark Stevens. This is the No Stay Project. You're listening to LRN.FM. And if you want to join us here on the show, you can do so at 218-632-9399. That's 218-632-9399.